entry, opening up into our event. It's a present moment event, of course. And we always like to explain one thing here. It's the basic principle of what we believe in. And that is that art, science, and nature are intimately connected into the greatest part of who we are as humans, as an intelligent force, a spiritual force on the planet. And we explain it this way, that nature is what has always inspired us from the very earliest of times. And from that inspiration, we have chosen to create symbols and marks that allow us to remember and to convey and communicate this connectivity that we have with nature through our experience. And throughout time, a very long time, what has happened is all those little marks that we started to make in the cave that made us remember those experiences that impressed us with information that was important to our survival and to our harmonizing with nature. Those have become your numbers, your letters, your languages, all the things that science uses to further accumulate an unlimited number of treasures from nature, which we all clearly have benefited from. And what we want to understand is that we've benefited materially from them hugely. And now we're right at the point where science is crossing the line and into the spiritual world, where now we're going to also be able to understand more about the spiritual nature of our interconnectedness with all of life through science. It used to be just the guy meditating, connecting with the cosmos and seeing this huge relationship of oneness that is who everyone in every life is. But now we have science who says, oh yeah, well, gosh, did you know that you have 10 times as number of invisible life forms on your body as cells in your body? And they are, well, they are the, what we call that, they're the majority of who we are. And we just learned about them in the last century. And now we're just learning their language and learning how they determine a huge amount about who we are and what we do. And this gets right to the core of our theme of the show, which is the interconnectedness. We are connected to everything in the world. And those 10 trillion little life form beings that live in us and on us and around us, each one of us, we're all exchanging that energy right now. That is the interconnectedness. And we're connected to the sun. Without the sun, we can't live. Without the oceans, we came out of the oceans. All the trees gave us the air. All the minerals and the metals and everything, the earth have supplied us with everything we need in order to create an incredible, harmonious, beautiful, peaceful, compassionate world. And that's what we're working on. And right now, of course, we all understand we're in a difficult phase. So I wanted to also talk a little bit about the science. There were some great science things that came up this month. One was about Johannes Kepler, if you know who Johannes Kepler is. If you don't know who he is, he was the first person who said, oh, wait a minute, the sun's not going around us, we're going around the sun. He found the center of our solar system, and he was the first person who started to break away from strictly astrology to astronomy and astrophysics, and actually doing the math of where the planets were and how they moved and everything else. Now, what makes this really exciting and important for me is I once had an experience where I believed I was taken to the moon and introduced to life and forms on the moon. And I went, well, you know, that was so strange and weird. Like, how did that happen? I wasn't on drugs, but it happened. So I'm reading this thing about Kepler. Well, Kepler wrote a book called Somnium, which means dream in Latin. Well, it was only published by his son after his death. It was about his trip to the moon and what he saw and discovered there, and what he wrote about what the moon was like and what the Earth's like and what the planets look like from the moon. And you go like, wow, this is very confirming to me. Well, he said they lived inside, and that's where I was. Anyway, that's one of the things. If you're interested in this book, it's called Somnium. You can buy it on Amazon. It's by Kepler. It's like the strangest, it's the first science fiction that was ever written on the planet. I love it for that as well. And then we have another one that's a little more difficult. It's written by Richard C. Clarke. It's called Warning Cassandra. Now, Cassandra in Greek was the oracle woman, and she could see everything exactly the way it was going to happen. And the gods didn't like this, so they cursed her, and they said, no one will listen to you. And so no one listened to her. When she said, this is going to happen, don't do it. They didn't listen to her. So that was her curse. Well, this book that came out by Richard C. Clarke and R.P. Eddy, and interestingly enough, they're both part of the national security intelligence agencies of our governments for the past 20 years. They're career people. Well, of course, they're no longer in government anymore because they know something. The idea is they wrote this book called Warning Cassandra. And I'm going to go to lighter things after this, but this is really important to know. Mr. Richard Clarke, he warned everyone about 9/11 long before it happened. No one would listen to him. He said, Osama bin Laden is going to come and he's going to attack you with jet planes. Nobody listened to him. Then he predicted cyber warfare. They're going to come and they're going to smash your country with cyber warfare. They're going to do it. No one would listen to him. Well, the final thing they wrote the book about, and it's the most concerning of all, which is something that we all know about and are facing every day, it's global warming. And the idea is it's not good. They all say, the most intelligent people who have most of the information in the world about global warming are saying we need a Manhattan Project for the whole world to stop global warming, or the world will no longer be the way it is. It's going to happen a lot faster than anyone is predicting. And that's the scary part. But we'll go on from there and say, you know, there's all kinds of wonderful things going on in the world too. There's a wonderful guy by the name of Eric Drexler. He was the first person to get a doctorate in nanotechnology from MIT. And he wrote a very prophetic book called Engines of Creation, which everybody went, that will never happen. Well, guess what? It's all happening. And he wrote another book called Atomic Precision Manufacturing, The Age of Abundance. And when atomic precision manufacturing comes into play, which is all happening today, we just don't know it because they don't tell us the good news. You can hear the good news right here. And what happens is when atomic precision manufacturing happens, we will have everything everyone needs, period, in the world. And there'll be abundance for everyone, and no one will, what people will have to do, the greatest problem at that point, what do you do when you have all this time on your hands and you don't have to work? What does your heart tell you to do? And so this is the whole problem of the world is not enough people are listening to their hearts, so they're doing things they don't want to do, and they get pissed off. And from that pissed offness, we find all the conflicts in the world. So we want to say there are answers, and they are coming. And if we can just produce enough peace and hope and happiness and compassion and balance in the world through ourselves and our own selves, we'll get there. We will get there. I'm an optimist. I think we can get through the difficult times. And it's very important and something we all need to pay attention to. And now I want to say one thing here that's really important. I had a great, great friend who was on the edge of understanding deeper and deeper about humanity and all the ancient cultures of the world. His name was John Major Jenkins. Some of you may have heard of him. He was a Mayanologist, and he was the one who brought forth the synchronization in the Mayan calendar together with 2012 and all the energy that that meant. Well, he passed away at age 53, and he got sick and passed away in 6 months. So I want to dedicate this poem to John. It's called Echoes of Interconnectedness. Before you know it, it's going to be too late. Sever every breath you take. That drum you hear, it's your heart. Drumming away 24 hours a day. There are only so many beats to go. Every one is a golden moment to share with your friends, with your family, with all who care. All together we dance in harmony. We dance in wholeness. And we dance in radiance, bringing the oneness to bear. Life's too short not to care. So savor every breath, because savor your friends, savor your family, savor your community, because it all comes and goes. I'm going to read this next poem. It's the longest poem of the night. It's written for Independence Day. And it's a little long, so after that there'll be some short ones. So don't run away. Interdependence Day 2017. We are not separate. We are interdependent. We are interconnected. We are interdependent. We are interconnected. We are love. We are anger. We are peace. We are the fear. We are the compassion. We are the courage. We are the joy and we are the greed. We are the generosity. We are the delusion. We are the wisdom. We are the ignorance. We are the equanimity. We are all of these energies as they flow from every human being and then are owned by all. In degrees of separation, learn to trust your heart. Learn the joy of connectivity. Learn the joy of relationship with the oneness that you have arisen from and will surely return to. Learn the language of nature's heart. See the symbols of deeper and deeper understanding. Share them through your thoughts. Share them through your words. Share them through the actions of your life. Share them with creative enthusiasm. I say, interdependence, what is that? Interconnectedness, what is that? I am you, and you are me. And that which you see depends upon the light of the sun. That which you hear depends upon the atmospheric ocean you live in. That which you think and feel depends upon your electromagnetic super biome vehicle. Your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, they're all little tiny charges of electrochemical energy, magnetically signaling all your human body parts, your heart, your brain, your blood, your skin, your bones, your hairs, your muscle, your teeth, your eyes, your ears, all of your inner organs, each a dynamic part of the interconnected network of connectivity served by all the proteins, molecules, and mitochondria, the sugars, the fats, and the starches, and all have been created from nature's heart and given to you. From the atoms created from life and from the death of an infinite number of stars and asteroids and planets and moons, all have died for you to be created. Interdependence, what is that? Interconnectedness, what is that? It's the water, the air, the fire, the earth, the energy of the sun, and all the gifts. All are you. And you are them. All of this is your human birth. The invisible, the visible, the indivisible. They're all merging and merging and merging. The microbes, the virus, the bions, the prions, all merging and merging and merging. All dancing together with you, in the great unfolding of the evolving novelty wave that brings us together into the singularity and then individuates us into an infinite number of parts, each containing all the other parts. That's the wholeness. That's the oneness of being in the great, vast, expanding universe, giving birth to an infinite number of universes, bridging all the multi-dimensional energies of eternity, of time and space, and no time and no space. We are one and everyone, and we are no one in the great circle of life and death, and life and death, and life and death, on and on and on. That's the interconnectedness. So I think we should do a poem to the ladybug to get light here. This is the ladybug here, and I love ladybugs because I love gardening, and they're real friends in our garden. We depend on the ladybugs to help us. So once again, we're back to interdependence, and then we in this painting we want to understand that the ladybug has consciousness and awareness too, and we can talk to the ladybug. And this particular ladybug is having a really great time. She's experiencing the golden moments of joy, peace, and compassion found in the interdependence of the oneness. So her poem, she told me a poem, and it goes like this: awakening to the present moment, the joy, the peace, the love, the compassion, and the equanimity, all are found in your heart. all of them are interdependent, and they all are embracing the tones of the oneness that is the song of nature's heart. And now on the back of, I've been doing this crazy thing. I know it's crazy, but I've been painting every painting with two paintings recently. And this one has a painting on the back. And the painting on the back is the golden moment offering. This bean here is making a golden moment offering of flowers and a little twig to their journey to the sacred ground. Now the sacred ground is, this gate here is called a Torii gate. And in Shinto, it represents when you go through that gate, you're in another world. You're in the world of sacredness. So this little being is making an offering to have a safe journey to get into the sacred ground, and all that golden energy back there in the sacred ground are all the golden moments that are there, and that's why this guy wants to go there to collect golden moments to share them with everyone. So his little poem is, a golden moment offering on the way to the sacred ground, an offering of silence, an offering of the heart, an offering of the compassion, an offering of happiness, an offering to the flowering of the wondrous. It happens so naturally on the way to the sacred ground. So once we know there's a sacred ground and we decide we want to go there, it's a very natural journey. You just have to find it and start going, And usually you'll find it right in here, inside yourself. Now we have another painting that I brought that's over there. It's called the Eagle of Peace. And it's also about connecting and interconnectedness, because the Eagle of Peace says the peaceful heart is the connecting heart. And his poem says, looking deeply into the celestial peace of a new day, the foreseeing one, wisdom keeper, your vision unveiling the darkness of the night. There, the celestial dance of the heavenly lights merge spontaneously, harmonizing of the passage of dark into light. There, the deep inner space of your being, you will find the peace that passeth all understanding. It's born right there, deep inside in your heart. Now I got a couple here that are coming up. This one I wrote for last month, and then I have one that I wrote for this month. And these are a little they're very current eventish. And then we'll get back to something peaceful afterwards. This one's called Changes Are A-Comin'. Changes are a-comin', this we know. This we see. This we feel. This we hear. Oh yeah, I can even smell it. Change is coming. Galactic change, sun change, moon change, earth change, asteroid change, climate change, political change, ocean change, ice change, volcano change, earthquake change, oh, cosmic ray change, eternal change, causing personal change, physical change, psychological change, internal change, every change, all changes moving into the alternating states of being and non-being, a bridge between ego and the oneness. Find the center of your own gravity, balancing right there, riding the great waves of probability as they roll in the ocean of great change, surrendering in joy at the still center of the present moment to embrace eternity. Okay, that's changes, they're coming. We know it, we feel it, we smell it, we can even smell it. Okay, this one here is I had to write this week. Listening to all the wonderful events going on in our world. So it's called We Lost Our Compass. We lost our compass in the vastness of space and time, grasping for balance. We've lost our gyroscope too. You know, it could be too late. Losing the air, losing the water, losing the fire, losing the earth, losing space and time, losing country, losing authenticity, losing truth, losing trust, losing empathy. In the present moment, let's hold hands. Let's hold on to each other. Let's hold together. That's the heart medicine. It's the only way to come through this perfect wave of darkness and deceit. The only way to come through is through meditation, finding compassion for the compass of your heart and soul, and joyful communication for community. The change always comes from within. The oneness, it's waiting for you. Join the circle of eternal love and set yourself free. Yeah, it's all about, it's all right here. Right now, we can't go out there and get any, except with our friends and our community, and the rest of it is just all... It'll come back together, but it will come back together from us being a strong community and having a strong heart and a strong soul, emanating joy, compassion, love, and peace and harmony to each other in our communities, in our families, and with our friends. And that's the only way we're going to get out of this stuff here. Well, here's another one. I like this one. It's called Moving and Grooving to Sedona's Dance. For all those who just moved here, this is good. Red rocks rising into a rose light-filled sky as ancient temples of stone. Pilgrims of the heart ascend stone stairways of living light, listening to the distant drums, resounding and vibrating on canyon walls. As an invocation to the great mother blood moon, as an invocation to the distant past, as an invocation to the present moment, and as an invocation to the unseen future, as an invocation to the ancient drumbeat, receiving and embracing the solar heartbeat. As its blood, it flows and it glows as a reflection of nature's heart. And it grows, and it glows, and it glows within the solar light of the bloodstream. And it grows, and it glows, and it glows with the blood of all the souls lost to war, lost to greed, all the souls lost to hate, all the souls lost to delusion, to anger, and lost to jealousy. All these souls, a treasure ship of souls, are all now embraced and now residing on the moon. They're all waiting patiently. They're all waiting silently, all within the absolute stillness of nature's heart. Oh, the joy. They're all now being reborn, all now in a new beginning, all now rising up in hope, all now anchoring deeply in belief. They're all now hungering. They're hungering for the music. They're hungering for the paintings, for the sculpture, for the dance, for the plays, for the song, for the poetry, and for the sacred architecture, the sacred space and energy that nourishes and supports the creative of each newly reborn soul, guiding them to the center of their being, to the center of their gravity, the center of their happiness, to the center of their joy, to the center of their own compassion, to the center of their own equanimity, and to the center of their deep, deep, eternal peace, as their place in nature's heart is revealed in gratitude for the peace found in the oneness of our interconnected being. That's Sedona. That's where we live. And that's what we do. And we like that a lot. Yes, indeed. Okay, I think we're just about through here. We're going to do one more, and then we'll be okay. I like this one because it's about information. It says, what is living information? Everything is alive. I say everything is alive and is living information. The rocks, the biome, the trees, the rivers, the mountains, the clouds, the sky, the moon, the stars, the planets, the Milky Way, the universe, the multiverse, the multi-dimensional soulverse. All are alive and awake. All have souls. All are connected. Know each as a part of yourself. In the oneness of the invisible bonds, of the indivisible truth, expressing the visible creations of the awakened, compassionate activities of the joyful heart. And we say, always, each one of us has a gift to our world. We have the gift of our own peace, our own love, our own happiness, our own compassion, our own generosity, our own wisdom, our own soul energy. And it's so important for us to contribute these things to our world, which is so desperately in need for what I call the soul food. Without soul food, we go crazy. And you can see the result of craziness everywhere you look. And that's why we have to keep remembering that there are antidotes to all the craziness. And we can practice them daily. And when you do that, you're doing your part. You can't really do anything else. And we thank you for doing your part. And we hope that we all together doing our parts will continue to make the world a place safe enough to be able to have events and talk freely about all the subjects that we would care to talk about, and to share with each other the soul food that we have to share. And that's what we are about here at Honshin Fine Art, and we love that you will participate and share with us, because it's your energy that makes it real as much as ours. And we all are co-creating together a world that will be a better place. And thank you so much for being here tonight.